Hi everyone, I'm Echoes and I'm a Vtuber, and I'll be going over episode 8 of Hat Atelier. Do apologize for the delay, but I'm definitely gonna work on explaining this episode now. Okay, let's get started. So in the beginning, we sort of start off where continuing where we left off, where essentially we have Aesthetes trying to mind wipe Coco here, and you can see that he is trying, but he's not listening to what the girls are saying, which is obviously a problem here. And you can see that who makes a great save is probably who is actually a mix of Riche and Tetia. I think Riche is actually the one who actually saves them. You can see her hair right here, while using a fire spell, while Tetia softens their landing. And then you can see that this line's is worded a little weirdly, but let's see. I hate adults who think children are inhuman creatures called children. I feel like it's worded better in the manga. I don't know exact wording. A little weird, but regardless, she in general doesn't like adults who don't treat children properly, essentially. So it's understandable. And then you can see that Eustace is trying to maintain his perspective here. Rules and laws are maintained only because witches adhere closely to the law. No exceptions can be made. You talk a lot for someone who doesn't listen. And you see that Qifrey comes in to help save them as well. And then they mention how that we get a bit of world building here, where spells of war, where that certain spells that can change the terrain are essentially from before the pack was created, and they must be dealt with accordingly. And here Qifrey mentions that he never gave his apprentices techniques or tools that could change a terrain in such a way. Even and regardless, they do believe that brim hats are involved. And now Arugio mentions that you gotta remember that we're supposed to help people. And you can see that Lulucy is trying to help him help Custis. But he or she has explained to him that magic cannot be used to heat for healing, essentially. It's one of the main rules. Especially for the regular witches here. You can see that they're going to continue investigating later on. Skip the opening. So they're able to bypass the Knights Moralis, or at least for the time being. As it is true that the girls didn't do anything wrong. But there is something involved that will be explained why that terrain changed as it did. Yeah, she's incapable of destroying the land river up and down the river. And then you can see Easy checks her hands. Because Brim has sometimes tattooed themselves to make this casting more powerful, and it's just that she has beginner's hands. Take care to not lose what you only begin to learn. And he mentioned, and then you can say they like, oh, sorry, I shouldn't have left you behind. And then it also explains the importance of memories here. It's like, I want you to recognize that what we did was extremely dangerous. All the people we saved would have had their memories erased. And then you can see that he explains that Agott Obi is now qualified to take the second test, would probably be the next chapter, I believe, or next episode. And then it'll be if you pass the test, you're then qualified to accompany him for outside work, and to not use magic outside until then. And then yeah. So let's see. Yeah, you can see that the teachers are like, okay, I trust Agott because she proved herself a bit. And then now they seeing that how the spell has changed the landscape of the entire river. And you can see that he's trying to root out Coco essentially, but because he says that she's dangerous. And you can see that we get some cool lore building where Ruji has a special spell that allows him to burn casting seals into rocks and trees. It's because they're what do you call it? Rather than just using drawing ink, right? The burning part probably makes the casting seals last longer, which makes sense. And then you see Coco makes an important observation here where she says that, oh, this is kind of strange. The vial is still full. Does it just continuously refill? And then we get explanation of why that's the case. So you can see magic is a lie that fills the world with color, though these hands may draw beautiful spells. Let's see. You can see that what is this guy's name again? I'm not remembering off the top of my head. This brim hat guy. He's the one who influenced Coco, of course. He's cutting himself with a knife and then putting the blood into the ink bottle. That essentially is explanation for why Coco's bottle technically is still full. Because I think Qifrey understands reasoning why. I don't remember if he explains it this episode or not, but I'll check. But regardless, though, it is not a truly a self-filling bottle. It's actually filled separately, but we'll explain that later. And you can see that he is going to be visiting Khan to get Coco a pen, and also getting her some alcohol, and he's going to look into something as well, which I explained here, where they're going back to the magic shop, and they're able to meet Tarta, who helps open the door, which is kind of cool. It's like they essentially insert a doorknob and essentially opens a room, which is interesting. Then he mentioned that the grandpa's on the 3rd floor. And also, this is where Coco, let's see. Coco learns about Tarta's difficulties, and then Qifrey checks in on Mr. Noah about the ink. He's not able to differentiate because it's so well blended, essentially. And then he found the identical blue hue, and it's using his vial. And you can see that Qifrey noticed that the brim hat has a spell on the vial. And this is where he tests the ink. And then Coco is now talking with Tarta about the various substances they use, which is already pretty cool, in order to change the magic ink's properties. Oh yeah, and he's also treating her as well. You can see that she's really excited, but he says that like he's interested in becoming a witch, but he cannot because of his vision issues. And this is where accidentally, like due to a flash of light, due to Kifrey's spell, all the bottles are knocked around. And you can see that in order to cope with his vision issues, he memorized their locations, but he cannot but he essentially has vision issues. And it makes it very difficult to become a witch, essentially, which is why he isn't one now. Broadcasting a pack much like that. And then he explains what he thinks it is. It's a twin bottle spell. So there should be a small metal inscribed with a casting seal in the fluid. It's still full because they filled it with that magic mystery additive, which, as we can confirm, is blood. So he's saying the ink of the bottle can release power like that, even with small scribbled seals, right? So this confirms essentially that blood is used as an amplifier for magical ink. Increases the power significantly so, which is possibly something that even Qifrey used before with his dragon, which is interesting. So he also is aware of this ability. But looks like he doesn't know what this mysterious additive is either, so maybe he doesn't know, but see that no one wants to inform them, but he was like, nobody can know. And then you can see apologists will know because he does something. And then looks like Qifrey comes back and then gives her a nice pouch for her troubles. And then this is where she learns about silver wash, which is the condition that Tarta has. It's essentially a congenital condition of the eye that makes you see the entire world in silver. So life is probably difficult for those with that condition. It's not that it's impossible to become a witch, it just becomes very difficult due to not being able to differentiate colors. In a sense that you only really see a monochrome world. One problem with it, which is how we are unaccounting of exceptions to their typical rules, which makes sense because even Coco is considered one of those exceptions, but she's a very much a rarity. And then you can see that Nono is helping his grandson with fixing the bottle. It's like, oh, like a flash of light? There was no flash of light. So then we get the what do you call it, implication that Qifrey actually erased the old man's mind as old man's not mind. Old man's memory for at least a few hours to a day. Because he's very aware of the significance of memories after all. But he's only needs to remove his knowledge of the day just to prevent him from being suspected here. So Nakarai's just Qifrey continue to be sus. Which I would not say is a good thing. And most likely we'll continue next week. We'll probably I feel like we'll eventually get to the second test for sure. Cause the girls already mentioned it. I don't know if we next episode or not. But regardless, you're making good progress in this series and I'm looking forward to it. Because I feel like we get a bit more progression here. We get the resolution with the Knights Moralis. We learn about Kifrey's doing suspicious things to try to get more info on the brim hats and stuff, especially with Coco having the twinned bottle. So yeah. Anyway, definitely interesting stuff. I'm looking forward to next week. All right, thank you so much.